Hello, my name is Matthew Hosking, and today I'm reporting from a current affair. Today's main story tonight will be on the Qantas Dispute. The story tonight will be more explained of what happened and also explained from all the different perspectives of the different people. The four major parties that were involved in the Qantas Dispute include the Qantas employees, the Qantas management, and also the unions and federal government. The Qantas employees were involved in the dispute were the pilots, the ground staff, and the engineers. The engineers were angered at Qantas's decision to outsource all of the jobs overseas, and they all wanted to get pay rises. The Transport Union, the Australian and International Pilot Association, and the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association were all involved to support all the Qantas employees. The chief, Alan Joyce, and other Qantas management staff were involved because they needed to resource the conflict as quickly as possible so the company wouldn't face any financial losses. FWA acted as a mediator throughout the dispute and authorizing the initial strikes and resolving. On Saturday, 29th of October 2011, Qantas issued a media release that announced from 8 p.m. on the 31st of October 2011 it would lock out all of its licensed engineers, all of its ramp staff, and all of its baggage handlers, and also Australian pilots. Qantas stated that the lockout would continue until the relevant unions, which included the Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineers Association, or known as ALAEA, also the Transport Workers Union, which is also known as the TWU, and also the Australian and International Pilot Unions, also known as the AIPA, dropped their extreme demands that have made it impossible for the agreements to be reached. The parties that were locked out in the Qantas dispute include all of the engineers, all of the ramp staff, and also all of the baggage handlers. The events leading up to the dispute, both of the AIPAS and also the ALAEA enterprise agreements expired. This means this allowed them to express the concerns regarding smaller branches of the company, employing pilots that were on a lower rates. The demand that all contracting engineers were paid the same wages as all other Qantas staff. On the 15th of March 2011, ALEA called upon the FWA to authorize a vote comprehensive of its members. The action ALEA planned included to stop working for 1.5 hours in the morning and afternoon, and to refuse certain dates. The very first rumblings began in the year 2011 of the month July. This occurred when some Qantas international pilots were angered with the airline by making in-flight announcement about their pay dispute with the management. It was their start of their first industry action in 45 years. The first strikes began in August. This occurred, the situation escalated. The first strikes were involving the other unions, and also the pilots were not on a strike at this point. A number of issues ascended as a result of the dispute. The issues that were involved in the Qantas dispute is that people were getting stranded. The dispute caused roughly around 60,000 passengers that were affected as a result of the decision to cancel 447 flights around the world. The stranded passengers were all offered refunds and rebooking priority. This also led to Jetstar adding 10 extra flights to their schedule, and Virgin adding 3,000 extra flights to their schedule. The other issue that was claimed that was happening during the dispute is that bullying was being occurred. Employees that were working during the dispute received death threats. The employees that are also working during the dispute got their car windows smashed by people outside of their work. This was no need for happen. The legal control of Fair Work Australia to suspend or end protecting action under the 5 grounds that were given for the under the Fair Work Act 2009 was discussed in April issue of the Employment Law. It explored how FWA controlled or managed their powers in 18 decisions handed down to the day. This is Matthew Hosking, and this includes our current affair for tonight. We wish you all have a great night. Ciao.